Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the front brakes on this 2002 Ford Focus, same as any 2000 to 2004, and very similar for most vehicles. Tools you'll need are a lug wrench or a 19mm socket and ratchet, jack and jack stands, 3/8 or 8mm Allen wrench, large screwdriver or small pry bar, and a large C-clamp, and some of those sizes may vary. Okay, first you're going to want to remove your wheel. If you don't have air tools, you'll want to loosen the lug nuts on the ground and then jack it up. You can place a jack right in here under your body and then use a jack stand to support it. For some reason this vehicle has 3 different size lug nuts. I've got a 21 3/4 fits on this and an 18mm fits on that one, so don't really listen to what I say as far as the sizes. Okay, we'll speed up through removing the tire. The lug nuts, I believe, should be 19mm on this vehicle. And you can pull your steering wheel like that. And now on the back, you can see that there's some little rubber plugs, plastic. I'll pull those off. Okay, which exposes a Allen screw, one there, and then also one right up here. This is either an 8mm or a 3/8 inch Allen screw. I have a socket style. Okay, they should come apart pretty easy. Okay, and I'm just going to fast forward through loosening those 2 bolts. You don't have to pull them all the way out of the caliper. You want to loosen them up and just make sure that they're free of the steering knuckle. So you just kind of turn them counterclockwise and pull them out a little bit, make sure they're coming out. What you may want to do is take a small pry bar or a large screwdriver and just lightly what you're doing is prying out on the caliper, and then the caliper comes off. Okay, if you need to replace here, you can kind of give an idea of how good your rotors are by running your finger over them like that and checking for any harsh grooves. If you're unsure, any auto parts store can check the run out on them. If you want to replace your rotors, it's very easy. Put this right there. Okay, the rotor very easily comes off and go back on. Okay, these rotors are fine, and in fact, you can see my brake pads are all fine. The brakes on this vehicle are fine. I'm just doing this video just to show you. Okay, to get the brake pads out, this inner one just presses out of the caliper. Okay, it comes out. And then this outer one, you may want to use a screwdriver or your pry bar and pry it out. Okay, and then on the pads, if you look, you see there's a little line right there. That's your wear indicator. You can see when you look from here, you can see if you can still see that little opening, then you know your pads are still okay. You can see it on this one. My inner one is slightly more worn, but it's still not all the way into this indicator. You can see it's just kind of filled with a little bit of the brake dust. You will want a large C-clamp. You can keep your old pad in there if you're putting new pads on it. What you're going to do is you're going to push this piston back in, because as the brakes wear, the piston comes out a little bit. So you put the pad on there, clamp large enough to get centered on here. Okay. Push the piston back in. Okay, take the clamp off. Take your outer pad and it'll just slide down on there some. And some of these pads will come with some lubricant to put on them to keep them from squeaking. Always apply anything, read the directions, apply the grease as it tells you to. In there. Push these bolts out, make sure those are sliding freely. Okay. Put your caliper back on. Stretch your bolts.
Okay, and we'll speed it up here, especially because of the fact that I didn't realize that my angle was so terrible and you couldn't see what I was doing anyways. But all I'm doing is tightening up those Allen bolts, and you want to tighten those up to about 25 to 30 foot-pounds.
We'll put our plastic covers back on. And then that flips back down.
Okay, obviously put the wheel back on, and you always want to hand start your lug nuts to avoid cross-threading them. Now I'm just preliminarily tightening the lug nuts with my air wrench. I'm not tightening them all the way yet. I'm going to wait till I get on the ground to do that. And now here with the car on the ground, I'm going to tighten my lug nuts. I'm tightening them up to 100 foot-pounds, kind of going crosswise, doing the opposite one each time. Okay, last and certainly not very least here, after you do your brakes, make sure that you pump the pedal a bunch of times before you drive the car. This resets the pistons back into the right spot. And I'm pumping it quite a bit because I did just take apart and put back together some old brakes. And then do a stop from like 5 miles an hour and 10 miles an hour before you road test the car.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.